Here's a quick look at our no-till garlic planting on Astarte farm in the last week of October 2022. We try to use our crop rotation and bed history to pick the most weed-free locations for this crop, which will stay in the ground for about 9 months. In this area next to Jim's orchard, we had good luck growing the main season tomatoes on beds mulched with rye straw, with the added bonus of aged leaf mold used to mulch the paths. We had great weed and moisture control during the summer season, and now Kelsey is using our hydraulic drop spreader to add a fresh 2-inch layer of compost to plant our garlic into. Out in field 2, we had a much different scene with our planting beds. The whole area had been spaded in May in preparation for winter squash and pumpkins. I know. Spading, while less destructive of soil structure than plowing and disking, still totally disrupts the soil food web. The farm invested in enough occultation strips to pin them edge to edge and cover the whole patch. Holes were burned in every other strip to make room for the squash transplants, and we harvested a good crop in September. Spreading compost on this spaded ground left compacted soil in the wheel tracks. Even though we need the water after a long drought, the rain-slicked paths could cause problems, both for the expected crew of planting volunteers and for the beneficial soil organisms that are just starting to weave their life-sustaining web. This is the dibbler that we used to make planting holes for the garlic cloves. An old shovel handle is fastened to a 2x2 piece of wood that in turn holds sharpened dowels spaced 6 inches apart. As you can see by Theo and Sadie's exertions, it can be a vigorous workout, especially on a damp day like this. You may also notice that with some effort we were able to get an aged wood chip mulch into all the pathways. This allowed our volunteer planting crew in a variety of footwear to complete the task in light rain without becoming totally mired in mud. For a more concise portrayal of this year's garlic planting process, please visit the Astarte Farm Instagram account for short clips that cover the whole effort. Using stretchy nylon surveyor's string as a guide, the 3 rows per bed have been dibbled in nice straight lines. The volunteer planting crew pushes each garlic clove down through the compost, making sure that the pointy ends are all up and that the root plate at the base of each clove is firmly placed down to the soil level. Another group follows with rakes or hands to be sure that all the cloves are covered in compost. All of the garlic bulbs for planting stock were broken into individual cloves earlier in the week. Some of you may remember last year's garlic planting video that demonstrated Theo's method of popping the cloves free from the central stiff neck by slamming the bulb upside down on a hard surface. Jim took this method to the next level and created a tool to split up the bulbs without beating up our hands. Once again, I'd refer you to the Astarte Farm Instagram account, which has a short clip of that process. The final bed of garlic was planted into one of our high tunnels for early maturing green garlic. We used the smallest cloves planted in 5 close rows to produce garlic bulbs that will be harvested with fresh greens to kick off next year's harvest. The last task is to mulch the entire patch with straw. The big round bales are very quick to apply, but they also require some pitchfork work to even out the coverage. Square bales are a bit more work since each flake of straw needs to be fluffed up, but they are easier to manage in tight spots like the high tunnels. So what has changed from last year? The most obvious difference is the fact that we have skipped the second compost spreading. This year we put down enough compost on the initial spread so that there was enough to rake the final covering from between the rows. Our planting date got pushed back from the middle of October to the end, but it was still warm enough to plant in shirt sleeves. The hidden difference is the tillage from last May that occurred on our largest garlic patch. I have some confidence that the regenerative techniques used in prior years will help this soil to recover quickly, and that the extended time garlic spends with roots in the ground will hasten that process. Thanks for watching. Questions and comments are welcome. Catch you next time.